Hey, hello everyone, and welcome to VMUG Chandigarh virtual session. And today we are here to wrap up VMware Explore 2023. And we have got some VMware experts with us, VMware partners from India, outside India as well. Yeah, let's start exploring. But if anyone has not registered for the VMware portal, here's the registration link and the QR code. Feel free to register yourself here, and we'll get that information for us. So next slide here, a little bit about before we go ahead, bit of housekeeping rules here. I would request everyone to mute your microphone. And I think that's more for Pawan. He has already done it. And thank you, Pawan. And yeah, feel free to put your queries in Q&A session, all VMUG attendees today. And as I said, we'll be exploring VMware Explore 2023 and have got some news from VMUG as well. But more of it will be around what are the takeaways from VMware Explore 2023. There are some around multi-cloud, private AI, things like that. So stay tuned. We'll be discussing all that in this session. And agenda for today is VMUG Chandigarh. Okay, I don't have my virtual drinks ready, but check-in has already been started, and we can see a lot of familiar faces here. I'll start the I'll set the agenda very shortly, wherein we'll be sharing some VMware and VMUG news from VMware Explore. And then we'll do a quick roundtable wherein we'll try to understand who have joined us, like who are the VMware experts. And there are a few from VMware itself. And we have got Ravi Kumar from Singapore, who is the VMware partner. So we'll get mix of stories today from VMware experts, VMware partners, and VMware customers. And to all VMUG attendees, I would say if you have any question in your mind, feel free to ask the experts. And at the end of the session, we'll do Q&A, and there we can kind of ask anything. But more or less, like I would request everyone to kind of enjoy the session rather than taking it too seriously. It's VMUG. We are here for networking and to learn more around what's happening in the tech space. So yeah, that's where we are. So now I would request Prasanna to quickly introduce himself, and I'll go, and then again I'll request Prasanna to give a bit of an intro about Akshakalia, and then we'll do a roundtable of intro with our VMware experts. Prasanna, over to you.
Yes, thanks, Prateek. Yeah, I know most of them here, so I don't need to go in detail as introducing myself. I'm the CTO of Clouds AI, and I've been in VMware, worked in both India and US, and I've worked with Amazon Web Services and other companies, a few startups there. And now I'm the CTO of Clouds AI. A little bit about our company. We are a technology consulting company operating in New Zealand region. ANZ especially. And we are assisting businesses in modernizing their technology infrastructure to fully harness the capabilities of leading cloud providers and leverage AI services from providers like VMware, NVIDIA, AWS, GCP, and Azure. In addition to our consulting services, we also provide a crucial role in addressing the skill gap that we see in industry, right? We offer industry readiness program designed to bridge the knowledge gap and skill gap, particularly in context of digital transformation and emerging technologies such as enterprise AI, private AI, and generative AI. And we have offices in India, New Zealand, and our primary mission is to provide expert guidance to organizations seeking and adapt and thrive in rapidly evolving tech landscape. Yeah, that's about me and our company. And I know we have support from VMware. We have Akshay Kalia backing us for VMUG Chandigarh chapter. And Akshay Kalia, he's a little bit about him. He is with VMware for quite a long time, at least, prior to 2010 or 2009, he was at VMware. And he was my tech lead at VMware. And after that, he has changed many roles and worked on almost all the products. So we have a lot of access and resources and expert guidance from VMware as well. Yeah, with that, Pratik, I'll hand over to you.
All right, thanks, Prasanna. And thank you for giving a bit of an explanation around the stuff we are doing around Clouds AI, which is more into all sort of cloud, we can say multi-cloud and artificial intelligence. And I'm happy that I'm sailing on this AI journey along with Prasanna, who has kind of deep understanding around the AI, whether you say private AI or whatever. So thanks, Prasanna, for that. And yes, I'm the founder and CEO of Clouds AI, and also holding a title of VMUG leader for Chandigarh VMUG community, and also assisting VMUG Auckland, New Zealand chapter as well. Apart from that, I'm the regional champion for VMUG space, wherein that's for APAC actually, and all VMUG chapters across APAC. I mean, if they're experiencing any issues or they would like to share their voice to top, they can come to me as well. So I'm kind of point of contact for APAC VMUG chapters at the moment. And yeah, I think that's about me, and working along with Prasanna, day-to-day activities, working with ANZ customers, and also working on the industry readiness program, wherein just trying to bridge the gap, the skill set between industry and recent graduates and anyone who is interested to kind of know more around clouds and AI. And thanks PPK again for introducing Akshay Kalia. As you said, Akshay was your mentor, so I can say here that Prasanna was my mentor back in VMware days, and I worked with a lot of almost kind of all the speakers who are VMware experts here sitting in the panel today. So I mean, feeling really great that we are sharing this platform together, and I'm sure I mean we'll have really great inputs for the VMUG community today. So going forward, okay, we'll do a quick roundtable. Pratik Jain is not here, and not sure who is like LD569BH, but someone's trying to enter the room. But anyways, Pratik Jain's not here, so Mrinal, over to you. Bit of an introduction about yourself and what you do. I understand you're playing a crucial role with one of the in the BFI sector, and you are currently in Mumbai. But yeah, bit of an intro from yourself.
Yeah, thanks, Pratik. So I've been a VMware veteran. You can say that. It's been a long time I've joined VMware. And I've got an opportunity to work in multiple roles and explore all the products. Currently, I'm working as customer success architect for APAC region. And my goal is to help customers build their digital transformation journey, which I think all our customers are doing nowadays. And that's what I have been doing. So yeah. And FYI, PPK was my mentor as well. I'm sorry, Prasanna. I have a habit of saying PPK.
Yeah.
So Prasanna was my mentor as well.
No,
Yeah.
Looks like we are playing a game today.
No, honestly, Mrinal, I work with Mrinal, and her technical competency across many of the VMware products, not just solving a problem, but I know how she approaches many of the solutions, and it's unbeatable, right? It's forbidden to even challenge or put any question across her solutions. So yeah, it's great to have you.
You're being too generous.
No, it's great to have you on board, and I'm sure we'll hear a lot from your talk today. Yeah, thanks.
All right, thanks, Mrinal. Ravi, over to you.
All right, thanks, guys. So hi, everyone. This is Ravi. So I am like 15 plus years experience in IT and ex VMware as well. So worked with VMware for about 7 years, both in GSS cloud platform and then as a PSO in Singapore. So both in India and Singapore. Now am basically with a partner called Net1 Asia, who's a leading principal partner in Singapore. So the title what I got is solutions manager, which means it's not like a non-tech thing, but in Singapore, usually for pre-sales or solution architect, they do call like solutions manager. So that's about me. And yes, coincidentally, PPK or Prasanna is also my mentor. And I've also worked with Mrinal, Pavan, Pratik, Akshay, everyone in GSS, and some of the folks who joined also who's a non-speaker today. So yeah, it's good to reconnect here and share our experience. And my day-to-day job is as a pre-sale or a consulting architect. When customer comes to us, with any challenges, we help them to transform to cloud or do a refresh of data center. Since we are not like a vendor base, like I don't represent VMware particularly, but then we are a system integrator. So we deal with many other products, not just like VMware, but then multi-cloud and be it any networking solution, FI, everything. Yeah, I have a case study to share today later in the session. Then we'll get connected again. Thanks.
All right. Thanks, Ravi.
Yeah, thanks, Ravi, and good to have you. It will be interesting to hear your case study today.
Yeah. And over to Pavan. And Pavan, don't forget you have to say something about Prasanna, right?
Hello, everyone. Good evening. Good afternoon. So Pavan Naidu, I've been with VMware for more than 10 years. So it's been a long time. And yes, PPK was my mentor too when I joined VMware. So I had, great learning opportunities along with VPK and rest of the folks. Like I worked with Mrinal as well and Ravi, of course, Pratik. Currently I'm working as a consulting architect for Worldwide Consulting Center within VMware. And I kind of work on the ARIA solutions. Apart from VR and I kind of take care of the complete ARIA suite. And my team kind of focuses on the product adoption. So what we do is we kind of conduct for customers who are already onboarded with the product. Our responsibility is to make sure that we connect the dots with their use cases. So we help them to adopt the solution better. And we do this in a way like close to PSO engagement, I would say, but we prepare them before they can adopt the solution and implement the use cases. So we conduct various types of workshops with them, and these are live workshops along with the demo, and we kind of make sure that they understand the features of the product, and if they have some use cases, we kind of help them demo those use cases so that they're confident when they implement the solution. That's about me, and I'm gonna be talking about Project Item, which is something that is cool and happening at this point of time within ARIA automation solution. So yeah, later this in this session, I'll go ahead and talk about that. Not in detail, but I'll just go ahead and provide a generic overview about what are we doing in that particular space.
All right. Thanks, Pavan.
Yeah,
and
great. One thing I want to add about Pavan is his VMUG Chandigarh alumni. So welcome back, and good to have you present again.
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
Thanks.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Pavan. And so we don't have Akshay Kalia with us. He might be joining at 5 p.m. and not sure if Pratik will also join, Pratik Jain. But before we go ahead, Pavan, I would request you to give a bit of an intro, or anyone actually, about Pratik Jain. Our audience would like to know more around Pratik's profile and what is he doing, if you know about it. What's his role in VMware?
Sure. Mrinal, you want to go first, or should I talk about him?
Go ahead. It's fine.
All right.
Anything
About
good
Pratik Jain.
good or bad? Anything good or bad?
That's the reason I was asking Mrinal, because if I talked about Pratik Jain, I would refrain talking good about him. but for the sake of discussion, I will introduce Prateek Jain. So Prateek Jain is with VMware for more than 11 years, I would say. So he is a year senior to me when it comes to the experience in terms of VMware experience, right? He's working as a cloud solution architect. He's a senior cloud solution architect with VMware, and he's into the OCVS, Oracle VMware solution, cloud VMware solution space. So he is helping our customers adopt OCVS solution. And this is one of the offering that we have, in terms of choosing the cloud infrastructure. And prior to that, like Prateek has worked almost with, multiple products, and we've been working with Premier Support for a long time, and that's how I met Prateek Jain. And right after that, we have taken our ways, and everyone is working towards different solution. And currently, Prateek Jain is into OCVS.
And I know, Pawan, you have shared the platform together at various VMware Explore events as well. So I think,
yeah, we had an opportunity to present at VMworld. Now it's called VM Explore. So we have presented in 2017 and 2018 in US and Barcelona, Europe both. Those were like golden days, golden time. Like we really enjoyed presenting at VMworld. Never expected to be there, but yeah, we got an opportunity to present like back-to-back 2 years. I've been, submitting papers, and nowadays the model is a little different, and it's more towards customer focus discussion that we are doing nowadays. So pretty hard to get through. But yeah, I've been trying my level best to see, if I can get an opportunity again.
All right, thanks. Anything from you, Renal, or is that it?
I think it is good for now. Yeah. I also share the same kind of bond with him. I probably will start bitching about him. So yeah, let's refrain.
All right. Okay. Thanks a lot. And yeah, it's really great. I mean, sharing this platform with you all. But yeah, so let's begin the agenda for today. And I've got some. Anyways, I wanted to attend VMware Explore this time, and although it was all sponsored by VMUG, but CloudSci kept me busy, and I was unable to go there this time. And not sure how things will be next year, but few takeaways from VMware Explore, if I have to say. So it was more around multi-cloud and AI. I mean, I attended VMware Explore in Mumbai. That was the first VMware Explore this year, and quite funny to see this, that it was 100% multi-cloud back in Mumbai, and now in Las Vegas things changed pretty fast within like 6 months, and AI took over most of the stuff. So every component, whether it's VCF, Tanzu, vSphere Plus, ARIA, or anything, I mean, AI, we saw AI everywhere. So in a way, it's kind of a multi-cloud thing for VMware. And somewhere VMware has uniquely positioned himself with all other kind of cloud providers as well. We have got a lot of clients who are associated either with like kind of a multi-cloud story, either with VMware on AWS, VMware on Azure, and VMware on Oracle or any other cloud. But it's more or less like VMware on another cloud, and requirements are slightly different. I mean, some customers are going to VMware on cloud, wherein they want to unleash the potential of a public cloud and don't want to re-architect everything again, right? So whatever they have in their private data center, they would like to take kind of a easy approach towards public cloud. So we hear a lot about multi-cloud from the VMware Explore event, and so in a way, when I'm saying VMware on any public cloud, in a way, VMware has become the de facto brand for other public cloud providers. And if there was a tagline over there somewhere which says platform engineering is the new DevOps layer. I mean, at a first instance, I didn't get that, like what they're trying to say. Like platform engineering is the new DevOps layer, but what it means is like it's enabling a lot of things as a code. So infrastructure as a code, data as a code, security as a code. And I think down the line, the plan is to get AI applications as code. That's where tech is moving, and we can see clearly that the DevOps is growing really high. And the other thing, there was a big announcement around the Tenzo and Aria kind of integration, and I think that's the right direction if we'll see from a multi-cloud point of view. And there were a lot of kind of benefits, I can say, for system integrators, value-added resellers, and cloud providers. So there was kind of a lot of information around that as well. And anyways, I mean, Broadcom acquisitions happening. So there was some information around the acquisition as well, wherein people were taking it in an optimistic way, wherein Broadcom's adding a lot of value to VMware. But yeah, I mean, some people might be kind of losing their job. Some people will stay there. But yeah, that's something's happening in that direction. And the main kind of crux for VMware Explore was wherein even Raghu said that when Raghu had a session with Jensen, that they can clearly see the general computing moving towards accelerated computing. And on that particular part, I would actually request Prasanna to give us more kind of insight around what VMware means when they say private AI. What are they trying to do, and why do we need that? Because in last 1 year, if I'll say, we have seen a lot of changes happening everywhere, starting from ChatGPT to private AI, enterprise AI, everything, right? So I have few kind of picks to share with you, everyone. Give me a moment. Oh, so sorry. So this one from Raghu and Jensen at VMware Explore. They had a good session. So 60-page reference architecture is what available on the VMware website as well. So if anyone's interested to know more around what VMware is offering as a private AI, can definitely look into that session, and YouTube video around this session, Raghu and Jensen. And there's a separate video from NVIDIA as well. But apart from that, around the news, if you'll see, there was a session from Oracle, not a session, like it was Oracle World 2023, wherein Larry actually started his speech with ChatGPT. So I mean, if you'll see all the slides, if you'll check all that YouTube video, you will see it was AI everywhere, and I think that's the crux of it. And I was actually watching Tech Giant talk, wherein a lot of top C-level people, they celebrated 75 years to the transistor, and but they kind of concluded everything to Gen AI. So yeah, that's something. Intel Innovation 2023, it was happening yesterday, wherein Pat, who was ex-CEO of VMware, he presented really well at Intel Innovation 2023. But again, most of it was around bringing AI everywhere. So that's from Intel. And very great session from NVIDIA, Jensen Huang. And what you can see here, that's a Grace Hopper supercomputer. And from a Jensen's point of view, he called it as 1 GPU. So now over to Prasanna to talk more around why this private AI and around the multi-cloud story of VMware, and if there are any. So in a way, I mean, we don't have to talk about just VMware Explore 2023 here. So if you have any VMware customer stories, success stories, feel free to share here. And as Pawan said, he has got good understanding around Project Item. So would like to know more around that as well. So BPK, will start with you. First question, what's private AI and why we need it?
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, that's a good insight as to what's happening around around the world with AI. And like what Pratik said, last VMware Explore we attended in Mumbai, all the news was around multi-cloud and everything. And then all of a sudden in Las Vegas, things had flipped, and then all the sessions had some part of AI and private AI story. And of course, Pratik, if you go back to the slide where you have VMware and Raghu and Jensen in that, what we understood from all the presentations and all the sessions there is that VMware is at the forefront, leading all the private AI. And VMware has defined many things for private AI as it's an architectural approach where they aim to balance business gains from AI while providing practical privacy and compliance at the core of everything, core of the organization's need, right? In fact, they had VMware General Counsel come on stage and talk about how important it is to have discuss the legal implications and need for privacy and compliance for the organizations. In fact, everyone has access to AI. Even I have access to AI, and similarly, anybody can get free access to generative AI. And it's easy for anybody to copy an email, and then if they're replying to a customer or a client, they can have ChatGPT or any other AI tool generate a response for it. It may sound very easy and very realistic or very logical to do such things, but at the now everyone would be aware that if we do that, then we are actually sharing our company's confidential information outside of an approved application, or even the AI model is getting trained based on any prompt or any question that we ask. Many of the engineers or developers may be thinking about copying the code from their internal repository and then trying to optimize it or repurpose the code for something else. So they may use ChatGPT to generate code or any other copilot to generate the code. But what's happening in the background is that the models actually they improve everything based on the prompts that we give. So in a way, we are actually leaking the data out of the company premise, which is not ideal, right? That gives away data privacy and control and everything. So VMware presented a solution or an approach, architectural approach, in which you can have generative AI built on-prem and have all the controls and all the compliance and governance, data governance and privacy controls, everything within the existing IT control itself, and while keeping the models and everything private to the organization. So that's more about private AI, right?
Yeah, sorry, PPK, sorry to cut you off, but I think we are going a bit high level. And if I'll ask you, like, how would you explain like private AI in a layman language first? So how I can understand that?
Yeah,
I mean, I'm just wearing the VMUG leader hat so that everyone can kind of get that the information.
Yeah, sounds good. I'll rather have VMware experts on the panel also talk. Mrinal, Pawan, and Ravi, feel free to pitch in. But in simple sense, if you're leveraging publicly available generative AI tools to do your office work, which today most of the companies have revised their guidelines on how to use or how to leverage or when not to leverage or what not to do with generative AI. They've already published their IT and data security guidelines, but again, complying to that is really hard. So instead, what people are doing is they are just copying. Say, I'll give an example, right? And this is hypothetical, not specific to any company. It is easy for any support engineer to copy an email that a customer sent, or a salesperson, to make the email more impactful, right? He may copy an email sent by a customer and then ask generative AI to generate a response or impactful email response. So with that, what happens is the email could, have some confidential information or some financial details, or even very specific to that particular deal, right? So that gets, that goes outside the company, and then say ChatGPT's GPT model gets trained on it, right? Which people don't know that many of the GPT, be it with Bard or be it with ChatGPT, they have human reviewers do some more, fine tuning based on the inputs. So in a way, someone else outside the company is viewing that email, right? Which is not ideal, which is confidential and internal to the company itself. So that is a data leak kind of scenario. So it's not ideal to have any AI tool get trained on such confidential information. So it is a need to have private AI, where I have all the AI models, accessing company's internal information. If I need to build any automation, or if I need to have any code repository parsed internally, then I don't need to have that, getting accessed outside of my company. So it's better I build a model or deploy large language model within my company and still have all the capabilities of AI, right? Like how ChatGPT is helping us. So for that, there is a need to have private AI. And then, of course, with that, there is regional requirements, regional compliance requirements, right? You need to have data stored in a particular region, country-specific region, compliance around who has access to what and what they did with that, right? Audit requirements. All that is taken care by private AI. Not just that, again, it's evolving. They have high-level guidelines and reference architectures published, but I guess those will keep revised. They keep evolving, and there's revisions that keep coming, right? We need to look for that.
Yeah, okay. Thanks, BPK. So in Jensen word, if I have to sum up your part, then Jensen says AI apps are the future, but where they will land, that matters, right? So although everyone's, like whether it's VMware or any other cloud provider, everyone's trying to keep those AI apps in their bucket. And other thing, what Jensen has mentioned, that he sees the future wherein large language models like Llama 2 on the front end of just everything. So I think that's kind of a sum up of what you were trying to say as well. So now I'll pass the let's do a roundtable actually, and I would like to know more from our VMware experts. Pawan, if you don't mind, would like to start with you. So if you have any stories from VMware Explore, any new enhancements you are aware of, please share with everyone. Otherwise, Project item is what we have.
Yeah, so in terms of the Explore, I think there are a lot of areas where there's innovation and a lot of new offerings that were announced. But I think I've not explored most of that, but I think in terms of the infrastructure, there's an announcement of vSAN Max that was disaggregated storage, and asking, or they're kind of giving around petabytes of storage as a disaggregated storage. That's a cool feature yet to explore. But yeah, I can go ahead and talk about Project Item. That is something not announced in VMware Explore, but this is something that's happening for some time. And for ARIA automation, people who are aware of ARIA automation, this is a cloud automation solution, which is available for both SaaS as well as on-prem, right? Focus is more towards SaaS solutions at this point of time. And, obviously, the releases, what you will see in terms of the features, they would first released for the SaaS version, and then obviously it'll come back to the on-prem version as well. So I can go ahead and talk a little bit about Project Item and, what is the, reason behind working with Project Item, and what's the outcome? What are we doing at this point of time within VMware solution, and how exactly it's helping with that multi-cloud journey that we are talking about. So, Project Item is more into, this is coming from Salt, right? So Salt has been acquired by VMware, and now it is rebranded as ARIA Automation Config. Previously, it was called as Salt Stack Config, but because of the rebranding, now it is known as ARIA Automation Config. Now, in terms of item, it was always available with Salt, and now with the integration with VRA, what we have is at that point of time when Item was an open source project, right? They were trying to go ahead and talk about how do we resolve some of the challenges that we have when we have workload running into the cloud, right? So we are talking about infrastructure as a code, and some of the challenges that we have is how do we do guest provisioning, and how do we go ahead and keep the pace with the cloud vendors in terms of the new offerings that they have. It could be property of a particular resource, or it could be a new resource altogether, right? So some of the benefits in terms of how exactly Project Item is working towards is changing the value proposition from infrastructure as a code to infrastructure towards the data. How do we go ahead and convert that into human readable language? And that's what Project Item is all about. Maybe I can go ahead and share my screen and talk about. I don't have a deck at this point of time, so I just want to go ahead and take you back to VMware documentation itself. And from there, maybe I can go ahead and drive the conversation. Just give me a quick minute here. So start to. All right, let me know if you guys can see my screen.
Yes. Yeah, we can see the screen.
All right. So in terms of Project Item, as I mentioned, now we have this integration with ARIA Automation, and what we are doing with this Project Item within ARIA Automation space is we have this tight integration between ARIA Automation and Salt Stack, or now we call it as ARIA Automation Config, right? So what we are doing is at this point of time, right, if you talk about the types of resources that we have when we are talking about multi-cloud journey, right? My previous presentation, when I was talking about how ARIA Automation or VRA is a multi-cloud solution, right? And it can offer both all types of solutions in terms of using private cloud, public cloud, and hybrid cloud, right? But some of the challenges that we have with public cloud is, in terms of the invention or in terms of the technology enhancement that's happening all the time, right? So one of the challenges that we had was to go ahead and keep up the pace with the new resources and properties that were released by cloud vendors, right? And now you would see that every now and then there would be new resources, new properties that would be available. And in order to support those resources and the properties, what we used to follow is we used to go ahead and start working on our ARIA Automation release. So VMware engineering would go ahead and start working on those features and those resource types. And by the time we go ahead and release a version that kind of supports some of those public cloud resources and properties, it is already 2 months or 3 months of a delay, right? So now at this point of time, when you talk about a pure true multi-cloud environment, we need to have that agile methodology in which we can go ahead and have that support right away, right? And that's when we can go ahead and call it as a true multi-cloud product, right? And this is one of the step forward in terms of helping our customers with getting those capabilities out of the box right away as soon as the cloud vendor has released a new feature, which in terms of the product resource or the properties. So what we are doing is there is work to be done, and right now this is currently being offered only for AWS and GCP solutions. And the plan is to go ahead and add more number of cloud providers into this. And how we are doing this is, you would see we are kind of using helpers here, right? So instead of coupling it with a resource type.
If possible, can you make the screen a bit bigger? Actually, that.
Oh, okay. Give me a quick minute. Yeah. Is that better?
Much better. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. So instead of just coupling this with the true set of resources that we have in ARIA automation, what we are doing is we are allowing these different helpers to go ahead and connect with the instance. So out here, the example is what we're doing is we have this AWS instance, EC2 instance that we have. And what we're doing is, instead of we using the existing set of resources for creating an AWS instance and proceeding further with the allocation, we're using different types of helpers. And these helpers would decouple the resource allocation and other types of use cases from this, the default resource type. So in this way, what would happen is, by using these types of allocation helpers, we can go ahead and include any sort of property that is available from the cloud vendor. And that's happening through this plugin that gets updated all the time. So let's say there is a new resource or the property that was released by AWS, right? Now, you need not to go ahead and upgrade the whole product. You would get those capabilities as part of the solution from this particular plugin itself, right? So the plugin would go ahead and take care of the new set of resources, and those properties would be available for you to go ahead and start using it from ARIA automation itself, right? So these are the different helper types that we have, and I can quickly take you back to my lab and I can show you how exactly we are doing this. So I may need to increase this as well. Let me know, Prateek, if this is kind of visible. Okay, perfect. So what we see is this is a read-only instance of ARIA automation cloud that we have here, and this particular capability is present in the on-prem version as well. Now, you might be familiar with all these different types of resources that you see onto the left, right? This is a new set of allocation helpers that were introduced as part of the project item, right? So what you see is, apart from the different types of resources what we have here, we have these allocation helpers. And these allocation helpers, each of them, they have different sort of roles and responsibility. If I talk about compute helper, this is like helping us to go ahead and allocate the compute resources onto a specific AWS cloud region, right? So we can go ahead and do that. Similarly, if you want to do a flavor mapping, image mapping, network mapping, security group, and storage, there are helpers available for every type of allocation helper that we kind of use along with our public cloud resources. Now, if I just go down here, you would see the list of resources that we have here. If I talk about an EC2 instance, you have this classic instance that we used to use all the time in order to go ahead and create the resource. But the real challenge is it's kind of limited with the capability, as I mentioned, right? So a new resource or new property is released, we would not have that capability on day one, right? We would need to wait for some time for that to be supported by the product. But by using this plugin-based method and using these helpers, we are now having that capability from day one. We would be able to go ahead and utilize these helpers. So if I select one of this, let's say if I select the allocation resource, which is right here. So if you just take a look at these properties, these are available to us from day one. So I can go ahead and couple this with my compute and then proceed further, right? Maybe I've taken a route to kind of explain this at a level 100 level, right? Maybe I can go ahead and do a deep dive, but the intention of this discussion is to kind of put that thought across when it comes to some of the challenges that we have when we are adopting to the public cloud solutions, and we wanted to keep that pace with the new offerings that the public cloud vendors is providing at this point of time, right? So that is the solution. It is limited at this point of time, but it is helpful in order to kind of think about compute resources, not only with VRA, but again, we can extend this to Terraform and any kind of custom resource type as well, right? With that, I'm just going to take a pause here and check if anyone has any sort of questions that I can answer.
Hey, this is really insightful. Honestly, I see a use case already that we may be having, but I would like to know when this will be like publicly available, or when can I get hands on this?
So it is currently available for you to use. Okay. So if you can take a look at this is the documentation that I'm talking about for VRA SaaS, ARIA automation. Currently, the capability is available it's in a beta phase, right? But the capability is available with AWS and GCP, right? So if you have any of the resources that you would like to provision under these two categories, you can pretty much go ahead and utilize this. And, if you talk about, I'm not getting into more detail in terms of the allocation helper, but if you want to get started, you have the, how do you create an EC2 instance in ARIA automation using this method, right? So that is available here in our documentation, and you can just go ahead and get some help from here. And there are step-by-step instructions on how exactly we can start consuming it. You would be able to see a lot of benefit in order to kind of decouple these helper. I mean, using these helpers, we are kind of decoupling it with the generic type of resources that we have, or the default resources. Now, what we are doing with item is we're just creating these resource types as generic, right? We can call it a generic resource type because, it really depends on what is available at the public cloud, and we would have those capabilities from day one.
No, that sounds interesting. We'll do that. We'll try that.
Yeah. So maybe we can have a much deeper dive into maybe a workshop where we can go ahead and talk about creating an EC2 instance with all these helper resources, allocation helpers that we have here. Maybe that kind of help you to understand more. But what I can do is right after the session, right, I can go ahead and share some of the available documentation and an end-to-end deployment demonstration that is already there in the YouTube. So I'm going to go ahead and share all those links with the community members so that they can start exploring this. And this is like a common question I get with a lot of customers whom I work with, that they are having issues in terms of achieving all the capabilities, right? If they want to go ahead and use one of the feature or a property from a public vendor, they kind of look into the documentation and see whether it's supported or not before they start consuming it, right? So that kind of removes the barrier with this plugin based architecture. Cool. I think there's a lot of work to be done, but I think it's a good step forward in terms of making it a true multi-cloud solution.
Yeah, definitely.
No, absolutely, that would be great.
Yeah, and thanks, Pawan, for the info. Quite insight about the product itself, and definitely if we can get that kind of capability within the product itself, that's a very right direction, making Arya as a true multi-cloud product. So, I mean, we'll save a lot of time actually for architects and people who are building up projects for their clients. So
Absolutely.
yeah. So Pawan, if you're done, we can move on to Ravi Kumar S. But feel free if you have anything to share. Yeah, we can.
Absolutely. Sure. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So Ravi, over to you. If you would like to share your screen, you can.
Yes, I can. Yeah. So there is one case study which I want to share because we are around this multi-cloud topic, right? And this one is something which I'm currently doing also. So you guys can see my screen, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we can
Okay.
see not the presenter view. Okay, now we can see the slide, the presentation.
Yeah, I mean, usually I don't use such sloppy slides for customer, but then I had to mask out few information for this session. So bear with me for the layman kind of slides here. All right. So before starting this, right, I mean, as a system integrator, what we do is we take all the customer challenge, and then we also try to see what is the next best fit for customer in terms of digital transformation, app modernization, or around all this area, right? So this is one customer in Singapore. He came to us with the challenges listed out here, right? So he's a complete VMware based customer. And then this customer has got directions from his C level that, the way forward is go to cloud. And the other challenge what we have got is tech refresh coming up, which means the hardware, whatever the ESXi hosts are running, the network devices or the storage is coming end of life, and the tech refresh is around the corner, plus VMware license renewal. So these are some of the challenges. Plus, the applications what customers running is running on legacy OS like 2012 R2, wherein you guys know, right? Microsoft is stopping the support from October 20, which is like 20 days from now. There is no official support for all this legacy operating system from Windows. And the last two challenges, the modernization, the app modernization is currently not happening, and customer also should reuse these solutions which he has contracts still valid. So these are the challenges, and he came to us telling like, how do we do this? How do we plan the way forward for the IT? Now, knowing all these things, now the main key point which I personally as an architect would take here is app modernization, which is not currently happening, which means definitely pushing customer towards cloud is, when I say cloud, the native cloud, be it AWS or Azure native cloud, is going to be a challenge because they have to rework at least some portion of their application to match it with the native model. So it's pretty straightforward. When they don't want to do app modernization now, then the answer is pretty simple. You have to go with a lift and shift or relocate kind of approach on cloud. And then since they are VMware based, the best solution for them would be to use the multi-cloud, which is everywhere now in all the VM Expo session, right? So customer has many options to choose from. Either you can go with AWS, Microsoft, Google, or the Oracle solution. But we have to check with customer, like, do you have any preferred cloud? Because I'm going to give a solution which will solve almost all your problem. But then do you have any preferred cloud you want to choose? And this customer says we are already on M365. So which means there is some presence on Azure cloud, right? So VMware multi-cloud is like, has so many options where customer can choose any public cloud provider. In that case, I kind of narrow down, maybe can we go with Microsoft Azure as your VMware multi-cloud option? Because you already have footprint on Microsoft cloud, then this should be something which is in the roadmap or aligns with your modernization journey. So then the focus was Azure VMware solution. So I know, like, multi-cloud is not something which generally is something like, customer go and buy a few vSphere license or few, NSX license. Multi-cloud is kind of a change for customer. He has to know that, things are living as data center, but it's living as data center in the same fashion how it is, and it's going to cloud, right? So the solution proposed was Azure VMware solution, which is, you're running your VMware SDDC on bare metal host provided by Azure. So the difference between, VMC on AWS, which is completely supported, maintained by VMware, is slightly different with AVS, right? AVS is completely, managed. It's AVS is a first-class solution of Azure, which means it's end-to-end taken care by Microsoft and co-engineered with VMware. So customer was pretty much okay with this kind of solution, and I kind of also had to explain him what are the 7R of migration approach, which generally any modernization takes place, right? So I told him, this kind of migration will fall under relocate approach, wherein you're just trying to relocate your workload from a current platform, which is VMware, to VMware platform itself, which is on Azure cloud. So he need not do any rehosting, no refactoring, no replatform of applications. So that solves one of his business use case, right? When we talk about he don't want to do app modernization. So app modernization is not required when you go for VMware multi-cloud option. And then second thing, why I chose Azure VMware solution is because Microsoft provides extended security support for legacy operating system. Either if you go to the public cloud option, when you go to Microsoft public cloud, or if you choose solution like Azure VMware solution, right? They kind of give support for more 3 years. So that 3 years is good enough for customer to do his app modernization journey, where he can first go to cloud with AVS and then start doing the app modernization out there. So couple of things addressed here. And the first 3 things, customer company direction is go to cloud. Yes, he's going to cloud with AVS. Tech refresh coming up, he can ignore the tech refresh because he's going to cloud where the servers, everything is part of the package. VMware license renewal, you can ignore that because the multi-cloud journey, any cloud provider will provide VMware license bundled as a package. So all of this is taken care. The last one was reuse the existing solution. This customer specifically had F5 and then FortiGate and Imperva for the WAF solution, right? So these all he had more license, our contract was still on for a couple of more years. So with the cloud journey, you have an option to reuse your existing solutions because Azure, whenever we create any multi-cloud solution, be it VMC on AWS or Azure VMware solution, we also have to build a landing zone around this. So landing zone basically can be customizable. No need to just pick the cloud service provider native services. We can also have, a third-party solutions. So we kind of, told him like you have a Palo Alto on-prem. You can use the Palo Alto VM series and use that as a firewall in your AVS solution. So basically, we addressed all of his challenges, and then he is very good with this option. We kind of, went more deep, detailed discussion. We don't see anything which we have left uncovered. So that's the story here. With AVS, basically, you get like more on savings. I can show you quickly on the pricing model also, but then you can ask me some questions with this case study if anything is top of your head, like you want to know something more or about the AVS solution itself, which I've gone deep dive. Please feel free to ask me any question.
So Ravi, I have a quick question. So as you've chosen the approach of migration as the strategy, right? Around relocation. Now, these workload what you're talking about that the customer has, Is it
Mhm.
like natively deployed on vSphere, or is
Yes.
there any other solution? Okay,
It's completely vSphere. Yeah. So
vSphere. Okay.
yeah, so that's the beauty of this, right? This customer is a
Yeah.
VMware Pro, and
Mhm.
he don't want to do any changes. So when you move from one hypervisor to another one, basically you have to do a lot of changes. But then
Mhm.
in this case, we are moving from vSphere to vSphere, so we will be using HCX as our migration tool, which will basically do a vMotion as well. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So
Okay. So
literally
it's
no
gonna be-
downtime. Yeah.
Yeah. Understood. Yeah, makes sense.
And quick thing, Ravi. So you said that when you're moving to cloud, you're getting extended support on
Yes.
the OS. So 2012 what's ending kind of support in next few days. So if you're
Right.
if any of the clients moving to AVS will get extended support there.
Exactly. I can show it to you. I have the document ready. So this is called, the lifecycle extended security thing, right? So basically, if you see, right, generally this customer whom I'm working with, he's on this. Majority of his application is running on this. So which will expire in another 20 days, right? But when he goes to solution like AVS or the Azure native, then he gets 3 years extended for critical patching. So why this is important is usually the hackers, right? They focus on the system which is legacy, which doesn't have any patches coming up from the vendor. So if Microsoft stops, updating the patches for these models, then customers' application is at stake. So basically, customers have to move to one of these solutions, or they have to do a replatform of their application itself. So in this case, app modernization or replatform was not an option. So AVS is the best match, where you just lift and shift, move the machine to cloud, and then you enjoy the free critical updates for till 2026.
All right,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, I see there's a question in chat. Rahul Keshri has a question. Kindly explain point like two is I think Ravi's previous comment actually answers that, or
Yeah,
Rahul, do you
so
want to ask?
Windows security update from VMware, no. For AVS, we don't get, so this Windows security update is given to us by Microsoft itself. VMware is just a platform, just like your on-prem, which will be available on your Azure. But the VM and the application is still customer's responsibility. And for Windows, these critical patches will be given from Microsoft itself.
Great.
All right,
Thanks.
thank you. Thanks, Ravi. And I think that's where we see VMware's becoming the de facto kind of brand for all public cloud providers, and giving that flexibility to consumers to choose the right cloud for them. And somewhere I see that the chapter, we can say the first chapter was around vSphere Suite, all ESXi vCenter servers. And chapter 2 is around, let's say, multi-cloud story of VMware, wherein it gives you flexibility to go to any cloud. And now there's another chapter adding to VMware story is more around AI. So I think I have to stay tuned to know more around that, what's happening in the private AI state as well. And I see that Akshay has also joined. Hey, Akshay.
Okay.
We'll quickly come back to you to know more from you around private AI, and then have to pass thing to Renal to understand more around it. But Ravi, looks like you still have to share something from your
Yeah,
end.
just one thing, right? This is about the pricing. So usually, I get asked like, what will be the pricing model, right? When you go to cloud. So when you go to cloud, this is the pricing calculator, which is available from Microsoft, where you just choose like which region you want to deploy. Of course, my customers in Singapore, so Southeast Asia. So number of instance, like maybe if he wants to go for 3 node, and that's the start for AVS. So he has to pay per month around 21K if he's going as a pay as you go model. If he goes to reserve model, then it's 15. If he goes to 3-year reserved, it's coming as low as 10K per month. And these are highly powerful computers. It's not like a normal servers. And yeah, just want to highlight on the pricing. That's it.
That's good. That's good.
Yep.
Okay, thanks. Thanks a
What
lot.
is the on-prem to cloud communication? Like it is a public internet or it is a
Yeah,
private?
you have two options. Either you can go for express route, which is a dedicated connection from customers on-prem to cloud, or you can also use the site-to-site VPN. So these are the two options available, and HCX tool has developed an option where you can also use site-to-site VPN, which is over a public internet for migration of the workload. So it's up to customer how he wants to choose it.
Ravi, I have a question, right? So if you
Yeah.
choose VMware as your solution, right? Who
Mhm.
manages this SPDC? Is this the customer
It's
himself?
completely
or is
managed
it
by
the
Microsoft.
It's a so that's another win-win, right? Like customer doesn't
Yes.
have to bother about the life cycle of SPDC operation,
Exactly,
SPDC
actually.
itself, right? So it's
For this
all
10K, what customer pays, right? For this 3 host, 10K per month, if he goes for 3 years reserved, he gets one complete life cycle of the hardware. No need to run any data center on-prem, everything is on cloud. And the maintenance, right? Which means the same skill set what their team has on-prem, the same thing can be leveraged on cloud. So these are some benefits which customer, because usually when I talk to customer, they will say the pricing is very high. I can buy servers on-prem itself, but they also have to look at the labor cost, the server room cost, other cost, which is already included. And the main cost is VMware license also. It's covered in this. There is no additional VMware license.
That's nice.
That's good.
Okay.
Ravi, I have a question.
Yep.
Sorry, who's this?
Hi guys, this is Noor Hussain. Nice to meet you.
Yeah,
Nice
hi.
to see you again.
Yep.
If in case, as a customer, if I take a cloud service from the Azure, can I manage my own data center myself? Is there an option, or I have to
No,
give it to Microsoft?
because it is a service provided by Microsoft, you will not be getting all the root level access of the servers, because end of the day it's a shared model, right? So Microsoft will manage the ESXi servers and other stuff for the lifecycle patching and everything. And as a customer, you would be just managing your virtual machine application layer and some of the role-based access control. These are the things. So there is a beautiful article where it explains what is the shared responsibility model when you go to solution like this, which portion the cloud provider will take care, which portion the customer has to take care, which one is the shared model. Yeah.
Thank you. And in that case, then the government industries who wants to keep
Right.
their own data center, they cannot get into these clouds.
They can also, because if I go back to my slide, right? Okay, sorry, I am a pro VMware guy. I don't give up VMware so easily. VMware also have this cloud provider data centers, right? So basically, even in Singapore, right, we have few company who just provide services to government agency, which means like if I have a big farm of servers, I can make
Can
it
I
into
answer this?
cloud. Yeah, go ahead.
Can I answer this?
Please,
So
please go ahead.
there is a dedicated Gov cloud for these kind of applications, right? And it exists on all of these vendors, right? If you have a government application that needs to be run, right? So there is a dedicated environment that is certified on your, like, it depends which country you're on, but we have presence in various regions, and we call that Gov cloud. It has
Yeah.
all sorts of security and certificate requirements and compliance requirements that country's government needs, right? It is slightly different from the commercial offering in a sense that GovCloud generally is slightly behind in features as compared to commercial cloud. So let's say we come up with some fancy feature, it will be released to commercial first when we are sure that the feature does not impact security, integrity, and the compliance regulations of the government environments. That's when that feature gets into GovCloud.
Yeah, thanks, Akshay. And I think people are enjoying that VMware on any cloud story a lot. So Akshay, it would be great if we can hear more from you, maybe kind of exclusive session on VMware on AWS and maybe one on VMware on AVS from Ravi again. Yeah, or maybe kind of a session with both AVS and AWS together.
We can do that.
All right, sure. And over to Renal, and Akshay will come back to you again to know more around what's happening at your end. But Renal, over to you. If you would like to share your screen, feel free. Otherwise, yeah, we can quickly know
Yeah.
what's happening at your end.
Yeah, well, from the Explorer, I have some very near to me kind of experience. I mean, the key takeaways, I would say. From the last couple of years, I've been working on Tanzu a lot. And when I started, it was new to me and I gained interest, so I continue doing that. So my key takeaways from the VM Explorer is more around Tanzu and how we have really come up with new features and capabilities for not just for the ops team, but also for the developers and the platform engineers, right? There are actually some cool features. I have seen customers struggle with Tanzu in the past, where they kept complaining about how the UI is not so user friendly. It is lot of command line. Everything has to be done from kubelet, and there are a lot of complaints. Now, we then also had some options with respect to the TAP, the Tanzu application platform and TMC. They were still available, but again, it had its own limitations at that point of time. Now, with this announcements and the enhancements which has happened in the past few months, it really is going to help developers and the platform engineers to get the most out of the Tanzu platform, right? Now, talking about that, the most, I would say the most important ones, which I feel going by the customer experiences, what I have seen is going to help is the developer portal. Now, the developer portal was still there with TAP, but it wasn't explicitly called out as, like the UIs and what you can do with integrations for your developer teams. Now, that is something which has great enhancements, and all the developers will be able to easily access and create their own spaces and work individually. Right? Another thing which got my attention was the application engine. Now, with the application engine, there's what I was talking about, right? That the developer and platform engineers and ops team, they have their separate, you say, like a space for them to work parallelly. In the previous ones, we would have to rely too much on if the other team has completed their work. Is the platform engineer disrupting the task done by the developer team, or is it impacting the ops team? There were a lot of things like that. So now with the application engine, we have spaces created where nobody bothers anyone. And if there is a task to be performed by a platform engineer, they can parallelly do that, and the DevOps team can continue to what they were doing, right? So that brings a sense of control in the environment and removes the dependency of just the chain which they would have to follow, right? So that is something really, really I thought is helpful, since my customers kept complaining about it in my past projects, right? One major point which I saw was the CSI snapshot support. That we have the file system support, file system backups, snapshots that are available, but we didn't have CSI snapshot support, right? Which basically, with this, it enables you to take a backup of your Kubernetes environment and restore it wherever you want. So you could restore it across the cluster with, let's say you want to restore it on Azure. You have EKS or AKS in use. You could restore it in any of the clusters. So we didn't have that capability before. Now we do. So those are some of the things which really got my attention. Right. Another interesting thing is about the multi-cloud platform. Just like how we have multi-cloud in VRA, where with the automation you could deploy your workloads on Azure and AWS and Google, etc. The similar way we have availability of Kubernetes across the clouds as well, which you can manage it from Tanzu, right? You could get the visibility of your containers running across multiple clouds, and you can also see what you are investing in that, right? Basically getting a cost visibility. You can then assess which environment suits better. It is all provided by the respective clouds. It is not something which Tanzu is feeding the information into that. It is just fetching it from your endpoints, and it is displaying you what would be the cost of running a container on so-and-so platform, right? And you could take a call on how you want to run a particular application or how you want to create a distributed architecture. So it gives you insight on that, right? Now, we talked a lot about AI, ML, and the private AI in the first conversation with PBK. So yes, AI has been going on as a hot topic everywhere, and VMware also has the hot topic. So now that AI part has been introduced, I would say it has been introduced in almost all the products which we have. We are trying to do that. And if not all, most of the products have that AI capabilities where we are trying to do some bits of it. Now with Tanzu also, we are using AI insights over there to get you the alerts or create a problem pattern and give you a visibility of what could be possibly wrong in the environment for the faster troubleshooting, faster resolution. So you could relate with if there is a pattern to a particular issue, and if there is something which needs to be fixed. So those kind of things we are trying with AI, and I think that's really going to help, because still now, to take my opinion, when it came to observability, we had limited capabilities, and we had to rely on third-party tools more to find out issues or to monitor the Kubernetes environment for that matter, right? So I think now there are a lot of options available. Now even we have bring your own tools to integrate with the Tanzu environment and customize, not customize, I would say, but to just get your tool and see what you're comfortable with and go with that kind of solution. So VMware now supports all of that, right? There's a lot of enhancement in the security perspective as well. I'm sure that there's actually a lot of things which have happened on the Tanzu front, and you would find all those recordings and videos available on the VM Explore links. If you don't have that, we can share it with you. There are a ton of videos, and people from R&D and our BU team have talked about it in detail. Like I just talked about the application engine at a very high level, right? Like what it brings on the table. There are videos available from VM Explore, which will take you through how to use it. It is there, but how to use it and how it is going to help you make your developer's life easy. Those are the things which are available on the Explore links. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll pause. Any questions?
A lot of takeaways from your talk. But yeah, any questions?
Sorry, you said echo?
No. So
No, takeaways.
Lot of
Oh.
takeaways from your talk and wonderful features that is bringing.
No, honestly, I see Vishal Bhaskar also on call, and to get to the CSI component, I know Vishal had a problem sometime earlier. We both were discussing, the native snapshotting problem with CSI, and it's good to know now that it's natively available with Tanzu, right?
Definitely, it does help, and it was very insightful, Mrinal. The things which you have mentioned, I personally I was not aware about, so now I am, which is nice. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
one thing I wanted to know is, say, if I'm having or if I need to extend between the clouds or have my workload run on two separate clouds, can I extend the L2 between the clouds and still these containers talk to each other while leveraging the infrastructure provided by Tanzu? Or
I
should I
think,
have to use,
sorry, go ahead.
or should I have to use another third-party networking tool that does cross-cloud communication?
To be frank, I haven't explored that one, but what I have heard is with NSX Plus, we are doing some work around it, so we might have something on that. I can find out more.
Okay, that sounds interesting. Let's see. Yeah, on any other insightful projects that you are working on with Gen AI, that would be great to know. Which need not be everything in detail, but yeah, at high level, what your customers are looking to accomplish with Gen AI with VMware.
Yeah, we have been talking a lot about AI, ML, and there are few customers who are working towards the enterprise AI with NVIDIA, and that is more focused around how it would help developers, and more about Tanzu Data Labs, which we are working together. We have been mostly questioned about how it is going to help them in modernizing their applications, and it's pretty new to them. To be frank, it is new to me as well. The AI part I have recently started, so I think PPK, you will be the better person to answer the AI questions. But yeah, ask me anything about Tanzu. I'm happy to answer it. Or VCF, or multi-cloud, not AI.
No, this is good to know. In fact, many of the things you mentioned about Tanzu, be it with monitoring and other things, new capabilities coming with Tanzu, that's great. Good to know.
There are actually a lot. Is Cloud Health, the Insight, which I talked about, the Tanzu Insight. It brings in a lot of other components as an integration to Cloud Health, guardrails, transformer. So you get you get a very in-depth information or review of your Kubernetes environment. Right. There are actually a number of things. I couldn't go to like all the announcements because there was so much to go through it. But the ones which I'm really interested in, I have gone through that. So you will find information about data services as well, how RabbitMQ and databases now are coming as default with the Tanzu platform, and how you could operate that. It is going to help developers. I don't have a lot of insight on that part, but yes, on the data services part as well, you will find a lot of new features which are available now with this. So there are new releases. The TAP released as 1.6 version. So that version is where you would find all these features that I've been talking about. Yeah, and if anybody wants to get a hands-on, there is hands-on lab available for all the things that I talked about. So you can have a glimpse, like just a feel of it. You might not get to do it from scratch, but it would give you a pretty good idea about how it is going to help you, whether it is the operations team or the platform engineer. It is available for all of them. Yeah.
And Mrinal, would be great if you can share that link with me. I'll share with the community members.
Yeah, I'll share.
But very good takeaways from your talk. regarding like making the UI, the Tanzu UI friendly, all that CSI snapshot support feature available now, and the visibility part, and definitely AI insight getting integrated with a lot of VMware products now. So thanks, Mrinal, for that. And if anyone has any questions, please feel free to put it in the Q&A section. But before we wrap up, Akshay, thank you for joining. Actually, I understand 4 to 5 you were busy on another call. But last few takeaways from you around VMware Explore, or if you have any kind of customer story you would like to share with us with the VMUG community people.
Sure. So regarding the AI piece that we've been talking about, and it seems like AI is becoming the talk of the town, right? One of the biggest challenges with AI is like nobody can use it off the plate. Like you cannot go ahead and provide your data to a public AI, right? You cannot go ahead and give a piece of code that you have written for a corporate program to ChatGPT or Midjourney or anything like that, right? So that's why the concept of whole private AI is coming in. And one of the biggest challenges private AI is making the models. The learning process is very expensive and it requires a lot of resources, right? So all this private AI talk that we had in VMworld, I was not part of the VMworld, but I was part of another event called Radio, which is an internal R&D event for VMware. The whole focus of the organization is that we want to make training models cheaper and more accessible, right? So let's say you own a company, you have a large data set on which you want to train something like ChatGPT to address questions which are recurring to you, right? Let's say something random comes to you, but you want to find out whether it is random or there is a pattern in it, right? So you want some model where you say, I am looking at this, has this happened before within my organization, right? That requires a specific private model to be trained that has to have context of your internal information, right? And when you try to train that, just like OpenAI, you will need thousands of GPUs, you will need a large infrastructure. And the current partnership of VMware and NVIDIA is trying to make that accessible so that you have consumable or maybe like I think people have heard of Bitfusion, right? Bitfusion was one of the products before the private AI talk come in, which provided you an ability to club together GPUs at one place and then share it across your developers so they can schedule that GPU resources as per their needs and the module that they're working on, right? So this is the whole story of private AI, where VMware wants to make it accessible and cheaper to train private models.
All right, thanks. And I think all that ethical stuff and the security, keeping in mind the private AI, enterprise AI things are coming up, right? Although making it cheaper is important,
so this bring in security as well, right? Like, because you own your model, you're not depending upon a public model anymore. Your model is within the premises of your data center, right? Because you own the machines where the training happened, you own the infrastructure where the training happened, and you have control over what data you presented, right? You're no longer providing that data to some third party for training a model. So that's what whole private AI is, right? So cost effectiveness, accessibility, security, and data sovereignty, all of those things come together in this when we provide you the ability to make it accessible within your own data center.
So that means you see the future is going again back to hybrid cloud, wherein you're still keeping the private cloud and data either coming from the private cloud or from the public cloud, but all that kind of learning happening within your premises.
So for AI, I do see if I am the organization, right, like I will not try to put training a large language model requires you to put everything that you have out there, right?
Yeah.
That's no organization's gonna do that, right? Like, consider Bugzilla, right? Would you ever ever make your Bugzilla repository public to an open outside of your premises. It might be somewhere in cloud, but it will still be a limited access cloud, right? Like very few people can know how to reach to that URL and all. So that's how private AI will be, right? It could be that your resources are still hosted in some cloud, right? But you're managing it in a much more scalable fashion.
Yeah. So, but no, thanks a lot for all your inputs, Akshay. And but yeah, I think we can say that it was quite a wonderful session. Got to hear from Akshay and Renal. Pratik Jain is not available, but Ravi Kumar S, Pawan Naidu. So great to hear from everyone, and thanks to you, Prasanna, as well. Before we close the session, Akshay, from you, what should we, if we have to give kind of a tagline to 2023, what should we say? What kind of year it is? Should we say it's a year of prompt engineering?
Yes, definitely. Prompt engineering or the year where machine learns.
Okay, cool. And
Yeah, no, that's
Vivek, anything from you?
No, that's a good tagline. And I mean, I just want to miss. Divik has a question in the chat. Divik is starting his career and then he's looking to develop interest in cloud. So he's asking doing some certifications in the field, right?
Yeah.
And just to read out the answer, Mrinal has answered on the chat. And Divik, you need to get started with attending some courses, be it with Oracle, AWS, GCP, of course, AWS, Azure, GCP, and VMware. VMware, I guess you are in the right group. This is VMUG group where you get a lot of insights on how people are using VMware and what they have problems with. And do any of the associate, foundation level, associate level, and professional level courses that should get you started. And certifications don't matter a lot unless you have really done some projects. It's like having a medal without fighting a war, right? So it's good to have that understanding, but you need to do some projects hands-on, right? And who is going to give you the hands-on project? And it's like a chicken and egg problem, right? Unless somebody tells you what to do, you don't get to do, and then you don't get to do, nobody is going to give you the project. So you can prove your knowledge and skills by doing some POCs by yourself, and we can guide you or we can help you out. In fact, Clouds.ai has this industry readiness program where we are going to give a lot of hands-on activity and then train on many things be it with cloud and AI, where we are going to clear a lot of foundational knowledge and then get some projects done as well. So that's a good start. Otherwise, there are a lot of online courses you can do and then pick up any open source project and start implementing stuff.
Yeah, and Oracle's giving some free certifications till end of September. So anyone's keen to do those Oracle free certifications, feel free to do that. And although it's a VMUG for today, but next month, not sure if it will be Bug, like Broadcom user group. So stay tuned. And so
that's a good one.
Yeah, so you never know if Broadcom will come and say, hey, all VMUGs, change your name to Bug now. Okay, so all right. Anyways, thanks a lot, everyone.
That's a good one.
Nice one, Prateek.
Okay, so I think we have taken 7 more minutes today, but thank you everyone for joining VMUG Chandigarh. We'll catch you again for our next session. Could be VMUG, Bug, but we'll catch up again. Thank you.
Yeah, and special thanks to Pawan, Mrinal, Akshay, Ravi for your presentation, and it's really insightful. And thanks everyone for joining the call.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
guys. Thank you.
Yeah,
Bye.
thanks. Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, thank you.